Good
Good
morning,
morning.
everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello. We have about, I think we checked, and there's definitely over 100 of you that registered to be with us today. And usually a good rate of sign on versus show up is 50%. It looks like we've exceeded that already because there's about 56 of us who have joined. Right now, we're at the top of the hour, but let's maybe give ourselves about a minute for folks to continue to join. We'd like to welcome you to today's Energy Awareness Month webinar. Wanted to share that this is my first, and I think for many of us, for this team, this is our very first opportunity to do this type of engagement with our network members. So we are very, very excited to be here with you this morning. I am reporting from Chicago. I am at the NASCASP conference, I think with maybe a few hundred of our peers here this week. And Amy, who's on the team, is with me as well. Okay, so we are 1 minute over, and I believe that we've hit critical mass. We've got 61 folks who've joined. We had 100 plus that registered. So it does seem like we could go ahead. And let's go. Next slide, please. I think we'll start this morning just showing you guys what we're going to try to do in the next hour. We're going to, of course, we're welcoming each other and all of you. You're going to have an opportunity to meet the team and see our titles and hear from us directly today. That's another thing I'm very excited about is you're going to hear from the beautiful team here at NCAP. We're going to ground ourselves in mission. We're going to kind of take a look at the overview of the toolkit and general messaging you can use. We're going to look at some really fun and exciting national campaigns that we've developed again for the first time. And then we're going to close it out with some questions and closing remarks. Why don't we go ahead and go to the next slide? I'm going to welcome you, Weatherization warriors, and all of our wonderful colleagues from across the country, from sea to shining sea. My name is Mia Harnos, and I am the Director of Energy Partnerships here at NCAP. Thank you so, so very much for your willingness to make time and space within your very busy production schedules. It's stressful every day. You guys are working hard, but you chose to bring yourself. You brought your team. You're bringing your department and your organization. You're bringing your life to show up to do what we need to do for Energy Awareness Month and Weatherization Day that happens next month. Weatherization is a core community action program like CSBG and like Head Start. Weatherization is part of our DNA. It's what holds us together as a network. And WAP is continuing to evolve. And it was never easy from way back in the day when I first started 20 years ago learning about weatherization here in the network. But the degree of difficulty of weatherization, it does seem to be increasing. It's complex. It takes strategic thinking and partnerships and talent and skilled labor. It takes a business mindset which is also what I believe makes this program so fantastic. So on the left, you're going to see Mia Harnos well, actually Mia Rai, I think it was like 3 years old. And then on the right is where, in my previous role at Wayne Metro, we were honored with the Community Action Promise Award. And so that's like was the height of being an accomplished community action professional was that we hit that height. Um, Next slide, please. Today's all about sharing our stories. WAP brings so much to the table. When we think about WAP, we want to think about a whole family and a whole home approach because it makes housing more efficient And yes, it lowers energy burden, but it can also lead to improved air quality. We remediate toxic materials that we find. These materials can be harmful to young people and old people alike. We can address things like mold and asbestos and lead that causes asthma, that causes, slowing of cognitive development in our children. It enables our seniors to age in place with dignity and in comfort. And then once we get in there with weatherization or pre-weatherization or other leverage funding, we remove all that bad stuff. And then we blow in all that good insulation and we seal and we tighten. And that home and family is good to go for 15 years. The impact of what you're doing in one home that carries for 15 years with that family. So it's a one-time investment that continues to pay off for the next 15 years. And for me, that sounds like a pretty good use of federal taxpayer money. And so those are the messages that we need to be talking about during Weatherization Day. These are 4 homes WAP invested in me and my family. As far as I know, there are 3 homes that have been weatherized, and that's the one in Huntington, Indiana. Aunt and uncle, great aunt and uncle, Tennessee, Ridge, Tennessee, same. And then my grandparents' home in Melvindale, Michigan. The one on the right in Allen Park, that's my parents' home. They just went through the process, Jeff and Amy, and they were 2 points within the eligibility. So if all works out, weatherization is going to help my mom and dad in their golden years. So it's a reward for a life well lived. So I just want to thank the crews, the contractors, auditors, all of you inspectors that made it possible for my family and wealth to be passed along to our next generation. So thank you. This year, the WET mission's up against a lot. There's many, many things standing in our way. We're navigating lots of changes. We're working through uncertainty. We're forging forward, though. So this is the time to talk about those people and the communities who really need us now more than ever. So this is our moment, and it's going to take all of us. And we need people to understand that weatherization really does work, that it should remain funded and resourced now and in the future. So thank you for allowing me to share that with you. This is the team. This is the superstar powerhouse. You got myself. You're going to hear from Keisha, who's a project director here in workforce development. You're going to hear from Amy. Many of you probably know Amy. She works to disseminate and engage. We've got Mitzi, who is our CCAP lead and also helps assist our team here. We've got Aderica, she's our newest member, Kendra, Grace, and we have a special guest that showed up. She's kind of she's a consultant, let's call her a high paid consultant, right, Laura, who joins us today. I think my last slide I want to share with you guys today in this opening is really about just the weatherization mission and really what grounds us. And as we enter into the space and we enter into our work every day, it's easy to forget. But this is really what leads us every day. It's about energy efficiency, but it's also, like I said, about the health and safety of our residents today and in future years. Today's webinar is being recorded. You can use the chat to ask questions and to comment. You can also access some links that we're going to be kind of putting in there to keep you all up to speed. So with that, I am going to turn it over to one of our new members of the team, Grace Hewitt, our senior associate. Grace?
Thanks, Mia. Hello, everyone. I wanted to take a minute to thank you all again for joining us. We really, really appreciate your time, and we know how valuable it is, especially right now. To give some background on why I'm here, I wanted to share a bit more about myself. When I was growing up, I could never quite figure out what I wanted to be. I'm still not entirely sure, but when I was a kid, I would always say I wanted to change the world and make it a better place to live. That sounds easy enough to find, right? I've been relatively new to the Weatherization Network, but I spent the first few years of my professional life as a community organizer and a policy researcher. I joined a clean energy nonprofit in March 2024 as an outreach specialist, and it was pretty much my introduction into weatherization. What I discovered was what I had been looking for since I was a little girl. People changing the world, making homes better places to live. In every project, every home, every family, the weatherization network is changing the world for the better. In my day-to-day life, I was able to connect with agency teams, clients, contractors, and community leaders that made this change possible. In the last year and a half, I've learned so much about energy awareness and experienced how everyone's weatherization and energy efficiency journey is unique. Weatherization has provided me with a career pathway to change the world. The innovation and dedication I've witnessed has really inspired me, and I'm lucky to have recently joined NCAP as the Senior Associate of Dissemination and Engagement to continue promoting great weatherization stories across the network. And if you can go to the next slide. Oh, are people not able to see the screen?
I'm seeing the screen, but maybe we can try again and maybe have to see if we can test something out so people can see the slides.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Grace, they were saying that the speaker looks like your full screen.
So sorry about that, folks. We put in some really great photos, so I don't want you guys to miss them. All right, can anyone confirm in the chat if they can? Okay, perfect. Awesome. Thank you guys for holding us accountable. I want to make sure you guys are getting all the information. Thank you guys for letting us know. Now to get back on track. Oh, there's little Grace. But to go to the next slide, um, let's talk about Energy Awareness Month now. October is a great opportunity not only to spread the word about the available energy programs and services in your community, but it's also to spotlight and share your story, what weatherization means to you. Now more than ever, your community needs to hear from you, and this work is just way too critical to happen behind the scenes. I included a little picture from our annual conference, which was a really great chance to see some weatherization innovation at Wayne Metro. They took us on this bright blue bus down to Wayne Metro to see their weatherization house, which they give communities tours to let them know about what weatherization is and what these services can do for families. Um, so I have a quick question. If you could go to the next slide for our participants today. We here at NCAP are always trying to promote innovation across the network, and we would love to hear about how your team has celebrated Energy Awareness Month in the past and Weatherization Day last year. So I'm gonna put a little poll to see how people were celebrating and getting the word out last October. Um, in our toolkit, we have some tips for in-person engagement, social media promotion, and outreach. And it looks like there was a lot of celebration last year, which I'm really happy to see. I'll give it a couple more seconds so everyone can get their voice heard. And feel free to share in the chat if you want to add some more details. I'd love to hear how your celebration went, what you learned, what you want to take and improve on for next year. I think that these are all really great opportunities to find some best practices and share them with the Weatherization Network. So it looks like there was a lot of posting, getting the word out, spreading awareness, and some in-person and virtual events as well. That's really great to hear. So I'm going to end the poll and we can go to the next. Everyone can take a peek at the results and we can go to the next slide. Now, with everything on your team's plate this fall, NCAP has prepared a toolkit to make Energy Awareness Month and Weatherization Day simple. From messaging about the social and economic impacts of weatherization to social media graphics, as well as step-by-step instructions on taking part of some really exciting national awareness campaigns, our team has developed a resource to spread the word on weatherization excellence across the country. Now, I think Mitzi's going to share that toolkit link in the chat. Feel free to take a look at the toolkit while our team discusses some key outreach and engagement strategies for your team this October. I'm going to actually pass it over to Mitzi now to kick it off with our upcoming national awareness campaigns.
Thank you, Grace. Hello, my name is Mitzi Hubbard. I am the CCAP Program Administrator and Energy Support Assistant for the National Community Action Partnership. I want to share my heartfelt reflection that represents many lives in southeastern Kentucky, where I was born and raised among the foothills of the Appalachians. Historically, some of our communities were once coal camps that were nestled alongside the running streams of these mountains. As the coal industry flourished, small homes began to appear and families were starting to grow. Through the years, these homes became what is known today as generational aging homes. These are homes that have been passed down through many generations within the families. Surprisingly, there are many descendants of those early coal miners still residing in these homes today. Most families struggle on fixed incomes with little room for repairs as they navigate through life in 2025. These homes are what I call the scars of despair. I share my story with you in hopes that it illustrates how my life, like those much around me, has been shaped by humility, purpose, and love. KCEOC Community Action Partnership became a vital lifeline for families like mine. Their initiative aims to overcome barriers that prevent people from affording essential home repairs by offering weatherization services and providing a beacon of hope. I remember a small team of weatherization workers tirelessly working on winterizing homes in our little community. No matter if it was snow, sleet, rain, or extreme heat, it was all done to improve the living conditions for many families like mine. Their dedication to weatherization work actually mirrors the Community Action Promise. Through their hard work, they were focused on ensuring every drafty window was sealed and every cold attic was insulated and every family's dignity was restored. As a little girl, I fondly remember my grandparents' home where I was partially raised. My grandpappy, a farmer, lived in one of those older generational homes from way back in the day. I remember when the KCLC Community Action Team came to visit our farmhouse. Their work was technical, yet deeply personal. They focused on preserving our pride and ownership, regardless of the home's condition. They didn't seek attention, they were humble with their labor, and they showed my family compassion. The weatherization director eased our minds as we had never received any outside help before. Upon their visit, they determined the needs for our family. Not only did we receive weatherization in winterizing our home, but we also received needed plumbing and clean drinking water. I distinctly remember the joy when the weatherization team introduced us all to indoor plumbing, a luxury that we had never experienced before, because at that time, all we had was an outhouse. After all, our farm was located in a very rural area with no water access. That was until community action and the county government partnered to help our farming community. To me, this was transformational. And to my surprise, suddenly, we had clean running water and how rich we felt. Just to let you know, personally, I remember the day when my little eyes saw for the first time the true color of Kool Aid, cherry. It was a bright red, and grape was a pretty purple. This change was the result of having clean drinking water. Before this change, my Kool Aid was made from well water that was contributing to the discoloration of the Kool Aid that I was drinking as a child. Through my journey, I realize now for every action, there is a reaction. In closing, I want to affirm that the weatherization program is a genuine labor of love, not only from the dedicated weatherization team, but from every individual involved in community action. I deeply commend the efforts of the Weatherization program, including community action agencies in our network. Thank you for your time, your compassion, and your dedication to those you serve. Your work undoubtedly changes lives. As we move forward to the next slide, on behalf of the Weatherization Program and the National Community Action Partnership, we are thrilled to invite you to be a part of the 2025 Faces of Weatherization project. This special initiative is designed to celebrate the remarkable contributions of weatherization professionals. The Faces of Weatherization spotlights celebrate weatherization staff at all stages of their careers to show how rewarding a career in weatherization can be. It also shows our national and our local partners how weatherization fulfills the promise of community action by helping people changing lives with energy services. We invite you to participate by sending your response to the questions listed on the presentation slides, and let us create a personalized spotlight that reflects your unique journey. When you are ready, email your feedback to energy@communityactionpartnership.com. Just to note, your spotlight may be showcased across various media platforms used by the National Community Action Partnership. Thank you for your time and dedication in community action. I will now turn it over to Amy English, who will tell you about this year's new way to tell the local weatherization stories.
Right. Good morning, everybody. Amy Jandusa English, Project Director, Weatherization, Dissemination, and Engagement. I'm going to be brief with my personal story because I want to make sure there's plenty of room for everybody else. I came into the community action world as a LIHEAP intake worker many, many years ago at the Community Economic Development Association of Cook County, which is CEDA. And at that time, it was an especially hard winter. I'm not going to tell you how long ago that was because then you'd know how old I am. Energy prices were at record highs and temperatures were at record lows, and LIHEAP was running out of money, which is not usual for this part of the country. I learned how most Chicago housing stock is brick buildings with no insulation whatsoever. In the building that I lived in, snow would blow in under the front door. I realized that putting more money into utility bill payment assistance was only a temporary solution, and that the real work was changing the entire way that we consume and pay for energy. So now we do have new ways to insulate a brick home and a booming home energy efficiency industry that was born of the Weatherization Assistance Program's original pioneering work. And I do love the photo that Grace had in the beginning. That was from, like, I think 1979 Weatherization, the black and white. So this year, we're asking for your help, not just putting a face on the Weatherization work and crews, but also putting a voice to enable our staff and our clients to tell their own stories. So we've got Faces of Weatherization, as well as our new Voices of Weatherization, which mirror ongoing campaigns in the larger energy efficiency industry. There is already a hashtag Faces of EE, hashtag Clean Energy Jobs. We want to make sure that the weatherization program secures its own spot within that landscape. Many nonprofits are updating social media strategies right now, and there are so many new social media platforms. Many of our network have already discovered new communication channels that are working. We want your help getting all of our content out there. Um, One thing we do know is that the building and home energy efficiency economy is still growing, and it is not likely to slow down. NCAP is working hard to build bridges between our national network and new national energy affordability allies, to make sure that our program's unique identity and unique role does not get lost in the shuffle. So using the same principles that we would with Faces of Weatherization, Voices of Weatherization is simply a video recording of a worker speaking to their lived experience using the same suggested guidelines. The thing that I would like to emphasize for our local network is that faces and voices of weatherization will have impacts beyond local recruitment and community relations. There are researchers and policy groups that are going to hear and see the testimonials about what frontline workers uh, are experiencing, as well as new this year recommendations for what you think would improve the program and amplify it in your circles. Um, I mean, the national partners will have the ability to amplify our messaging in their circles. So that's very powerful, especially helping this broader national audience perceive like the regional and local differences in who we serve and how we serve them. So I will now turn it over to my colleague Keisha Johnson, who is going to deliver an example of what a Voices of Weatherization video might sound like, because she has her own weatherization professional origin story to tell.
Thank you, Amy. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Keisha Johnson, as you can see from that fabulous picture on your screen. I'm the project director for Weatherization Workforce Development here at NCAP, but my journey did not start here at NCAP. I started as a clerk typist, and I was just showing up, I was learning the ropes, and I was doing the work. But from there, I became an administrative assistant. And then I was supporting others and starting to see how things really worked. But I wanted more. I wanted to be closer to the mission of what weatherization was doing. So I moved into the field. And that's where I learned grit. That's where I saw the real conditions, unfortunately, that some families live in. And that's where I understood why this work in community action was so important and it mattered so much. And so let me just tell you, I didn't just see it, I also lived it myself because my own household once qualified to be weatherized. So while I was working in weatherization, the pay wasn't great, but the benefits, the time with my kids and my family, the stability, all of that mattered to me. So that's what kept me going, and that's what made me stay. And those years shaped me into who I am today. They prepared me to lead. And as a weatherization director, when I made it to that particular position, I built teams, I trained staff, and I created the kind of support that I once needed myself. So now that I'm here at the national level here at NCAP, I carry all of those lessons with me every single day from the office to the field to the boardroom. I've walked that path. So when I say this, I mean it. I know the sacrifices, I know the frustrations, and I know the victories, and I know community action. And one thing I always say is no one should ever have to choose between heating their home and feeding their family. So that's why this work matters. And if my story proves anything, it's this: where you start doesn't define how far you can go. Every step matters, every role matters, and every challenge can fuel your next breakthrough. So keep showing up, keep learning, keep believing, because the work you're doing right now isn't just changing homes, it's changing lives. So now, with that being said, I'll turn it over to the next colleague here at NCAP, Ms. Kendra Baldwin, who will share our national campaign, which is the Local Weatherization Awards. Thank you.
Thank you, Keisha, and good morning, everyone. My name is Kendra Baldwin. I'm a senior associate on the Energy Partnerships team. Um, excuse me. Like a lot of people, I honestly just kind of fell into community action. Definitely was not part of the plan. If you can say I really had a plan, honestly, I didn't. But so before this, I worked for a corporate job that was technically my field, but honestly pretty unfulfilling. Our promotional materials would be full of all of these sound bites boasting about how our work was benefiting low-income communities, but it always felt kind of hollow because, at the end of the day, that it's the profits that's the priority, not the people. And it was just, lucky coincidence that promoting communities was popular at the time. But then when I found a job listing for NCAP, it kind of felt like a light bulb moment. Community action felt like a place where I could use the skills that I've developed in my career so far to really work in service of people. And that's what really excites me about our Weatherization Awards campaign. It's an opportunity to celebrate the passionate individuals like all of you working in weatherization who inspire me day to day. So, NCAP's local weatherization awards are a new addition to our Energy Awareness Month programming. These awards are a chance for you to uplift the people in your organization who have gone above and beyond in the weatherization world. They can be used to promote the important work you do, highlight career pathways, and just generally celebrate your teams. So we have 3 different awards: the Innovation Award, the Community Changemaker Award, and the Personal Achievement Award. And we hope that you will share the winners of your awards with us so that we can uplift them as well with a local award certificate, a commemorative lapel pin, and a congratulatory feature in our National Weatherization Day campaign materials. So first up, I'm going to talk some more about the Innovation Award. This award recognizes local weatherization assistance program managers whose technical and programmatic expertise has significantly improved their organization's capacity to weatherize homes in their community. These practitioners have incorporated or created new weatherization technology, materials, or processes, whether admin or field related, because like Keisha said, both are incredibly important. They may have also developed new partnerships with other organizations or funders that have resulted in more homes served and or broader services provided to those homes. They may also have spearheaded new crew recruitment, training, or retention programs. Recipients of this award will also have the opportunity to be added to NCAP's list of local weatherization subject matter experts, or SMEs. NCAP weatherization SMEs can represent their organization and showcase their expertise in key work with national and federal decision makers. And now I will pass to Aderica to talk about the next award.
Thank you, Kendra. Good morning, everyone. My name is Aderica McLean, and I serve as the Senior Associate for Weatherization Workforce Development. While I'm one of the newest members of the NCAP Energy team, my journey in community action spans more than 15 years. Over that time, I've had the privilege of working alongside a dedicated community of champions in Michigan, people who have had their boots on the ground for decades, helping families and strengthening neighborhoods. What I've witnessed firsthand is the success of weatherization assistance programs depends on more than just the work we do internally. It takes a strong network of local partners, organizations, government agencies, businesses, and funders who believe in the mission and stand shoulder to shoulder with weatherization providers. These partners build relationships with local teams, learn how weatherization reduces household energy burdens, and commit themselves to tackling the root causes and conditions of poverty in their communities. They help to ensure that families and children like mine in the images, my boys, my nieces, and nephews, are able to grow, develop, and thrive in a safe and healthy home, collectively ensuring that whole family, whole home is available for everyone. As we look ahead to Energy Awareness Month in October and Weatherization Day on October 30th, I encourage each of you to pause and reflect on the local weatherization community change maker in your own communities, the partners who make this work possible. Let's celebrate them, whether through a recognition event, a story shared on social media, or simply a thank you card. Let's acknowledge the people and organizations who partner with us, establish whole family, whole home with us, and deliver the promise of weatherization. Lastly, remember to share your local weatherization community change maker information with us so that they can be recognized. Thank you. And now I'll turn it back over to our director, Mia Harnos.
Thanks, Aderica. Look at how cute. Thanks for sharing those photos. Yep, next slide. Um, so the third award is the Personal Achievement Award. This award recognizes weatherization team members who embody community action spirit of hope. These individuals, through the Weatherization Assistance Program, have achieved economic stability and created a career path in the building science and or home performance industry. Whether he or she or they are on a new hire, on a crew, or a seasoned professional dedicated to helping people and changing lives, the story of their journey is uniquely inspiring, and the value of their contribution to their weatherization team is immense. The winner will receive the local award certificate, a commemorative lapel pin, a congratulatory feature in the National Weatherization Day campaign materials, and all submissions for this award that we receive will be considered to join the next cohort in the NCAP Weatherization Leadership Development Institute WAP Pro, which is a very amazing opportunity. So if I were to have nominated someone for this role in my role, for this award in my role as COO at Wayne Metro, I likely would have nominated John Carmody. Father, friend, licensed builder, weatherization professional, and just overall community champion. John's one of those people that always finds a way to help people and change lives. Driving through my community, I see the housing developments John managed and developed. It's probably in maybe close to 300 units that of single family new homes, new builds, rehabs, condominiums, apartment buildings. John has really made a mark in his community, in our community, and John is very dedicated. There were nights where John would spend the night in the buildings that he was working on because things would go so late and start so early. It just made sense for him. That's where his comfort was. John has also been the weatherization director. Here is a picture of John doing a training at the WAC demonstration house, where him and his team now welcome members of the local community and other WAP agencies from around the state of Michigan and across the country to learn, to train, and to grow. John really has dedicated his life to the mission of community action and weatherization. So if you know someone with a story like John's that could inspire everyone, you should probably start working on a nomination form today and make a plan for how you're going to recognize that person. And I really hope that you would make that a priority to share and amplify that story because that's what will stick with people. Um, Next, I am very, very excited that we have been able to secure again, a rock star here in the network. I would like to introduce everyone to Laura Fletcher. Laura's going to share a bit about her journey and, inspire us with her words. Laura?
Thank you, Mia. Um, as she said before, they're very well paid consultant, um, paid exclusively in appreciation. My name's Laura Fletcher, and I have been with Weatherization in Western South Dakota for about 2 years now. And the thing that's been most impactful for me in this work, and that I really want to highlight today, is that it's all about relationships. And Energy Awareness Month and Weatherization Day are the perfect time for us to lean into this concept. Weatherization at its core is about the relationship between the family and their home, but it's also the home and its environment, the community, the energy grid, the economy, and all of these things are interconnected and impacted by the weatherization work. As a result of relationships, the weatherization projects that my team completes in small town South Dakota has impacts not only on our communities, our local housing stock and workforce, but through relationships, our innovations and problem solving are impacting programs across the nation. Through my relationship with NCAP, I'm connecting with programs across the country with different problems and different solutions to impact my program. But weatherization is also the relationship between keeping a home livable longer and energy costs lower, resulting in less stress on the grid. And the relationship of visiting the doctor less often can result in better employability and ultimately helping families move out of poverty. Weatherization is literally changing lives. And it's also recognizing the relationship between that little girl's home being weatherized and her eventually advocating on the national stage for this program. It's the relationship between an administrative assistant and wanting to make a bigger impact on people's lives. These are the real impacts, and these are the relationships and the impacts of weatherization. These are the stories that we need to tell to raise this awareness and grow the weatherization workforce, ensure that policymakers see and understand the importance of programs. This is where my voice and my program is going to focus as we start our marketing for Energy Awareness Month, Weatherization Day. We're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about this ripple effect that we are having and have had for 49 years across the nation. And we're going to amplify that voice so that that impact is heard in this ever-changing political climate. So thank you so much, Mia, for this opportunity to speak with you and for my team. I really appreciate it.
Wow, I just sat up really straight hearing you. We're so proud. We're so proud of you and thankful for you. I think what we're going to try to do, if anyone has any questions, they can kind of pose them for us in the chat. I do know that I think Grace has got some things loaded up for us. I think we want to maybe ask you guys some questions as we are working on, our plans this month, what we're highlighting, what we're putting in newsletters, what we're talking to people about. So, Grace, do you want to take it from here um, on those questions? I think Laura might have a question that she'd like to pose for you guys. Grace?
Yeah, so one of the big things that was one of our goals in creating this webinar space was, figuring out best practices. So with Energy Awareness Month and Weatherization Day coming up, and all of these really great past experiences celebrating both. I know I posed this question earlier, but feel free to add to the chat, lessons learned from Energy Awareness Month. We really want to know some of the good, bad, and ugly because every kind of lesson that we learn in the network just makes the next event even better. I also created a poll question about this toolkit specifically to figure out, what tools from this kit, what resources are important to you guys, what has resonated and stuck out to you, what do you think your team could use in the future? Um, and, another thing you can add to the chat is ideas that you think that we could incorporate in the toolkit for the future as well. Because we're here to serve the agencies, and we want to make sure that everything we're developing is a direct reflection of your needs. So I'm really excited to see some of these campaigns get used, see some of this promotion on the socials. I can't wait to work together this month to promote some of y'all's stories in the national channels, bring those conversations to some of our community leaders, and really remind them. I mean, we've all shared why weatherization is important to us, and now we're kind of ready for you guys to share and for us to be able to really celebrate it with the whole network.
Agreed,
Um,
agreed,
so I
I have a question for the group.
Awesome.
Um, if we were able to coordinate schedules and travel. And there was a member of the NCAP team that could join you on the ground for something that you're doing. That is very much a possibility. We don't have to stay all day. We don't have to be intrusive. You don't have to make a big deal. Other than we would like to be there in person, and stand up beside you and experience the things that you're doing in your local community. We'd love to take some photos, and spend some time on the ground in your places and spaces. So if that is something that you would like, um, to see us, you'd like to welcome one of us to your agency and the work that you're doing in your weatherization day, um, let us know because we can come visit.
We'd love to
Um,
visit.
Eastern Kentucky. See, we've got folks all over the country, and so we could deploy people who really like live right in your backyard. I know that Laura had something that she wanted to pose to you all, and then it looks like Amy would also like to address the group. But before we go there, any questions? I don't think that there's any questions coming in. So how about let's let Laura, Laura had talked about, I think she was going to challenge some folks with a question.
Well, I'm just really interested to hear like what have people tried and what has or hasn't worked. Um, we did a weatherization day in-person event last year, or attempted to. Um, I spent a lot of time creating what I thought were really great invitations. And we got a mayoral proclamation, and we got someone from the city council to come to our pressure house demonstration, and we had the news there. And I think I had 5 people show up that weren't direct employees of my agency. And 2 of those were from our local utility company there to help me with all of the potential people, and day of planning. And that was really tough. And I learned a lot from it. And I learned things that I'll definitely do different in the future. Um, and I just like, I'd love to hear people's stories if you've tried anything. And if this is your first year and, you have questions about, what works and what doesn't work and how to handle maybe that heartbreak. This is such a great panel, and these ladies are so wonderful and open that like it's just a fabulous space to have those discussions.
Anyone want to put your responses into the chat? That would be amazing. And then I think we've got something from Amy.
Thank you, Mia. I just wanted to jump in and let everyone know that the energy email address that we now have is not an unmonitored box that goes into a black hole. And so I see a lot of familiar names on the registration and attendee list over here. And many of you may know that it kind of used to be just me. Now we have this gigantic team, which is really exciting. And so we are using the energy box to make sure that no inquiry from the network goes overlooked. So if you email that, I think we have a dedicated staff that will make sure that whatever the question is gets to the right person. When we see things that come through that email box, we're actually going to prioritize it, and we want to ensure that the network gets a response from one of us personally. So if it's something that Mia can answer, you'll hear from Mia. If it's something that I can answer, you'll hear from me. If it's on down the line. And then we're hoping that everyone can have that personal touch and that personal relationship with all of our staff.
Yep. Anything else? Questions? Let's move on to the next slide then, because here's some stuff you
Really
guys
quick,
are.
I just want to uplift
Oh,
what Keith said in the chat. I think that's a really good idea. He said that it's
ooh.
really important to get kids involved. When the kids are there, the parents and community follows. I think that's a very good idea.
Head Start. Also, I just want to highlight that one of our national partners at the conference today has energy efficiency color weatherization coloring books. So kids are the future for sure.
We have coloring books. I also am going to put in the chat some just specific printable coloring pages that I found. I think one of our plans this year is to have a coloring contest that we're going to host on social media for the kids leading up to Weatherization Day. I have no affiliation with this website. I just found this place where you can print them. They're very simple and very adorable for it's a national energy education nonprofit.
That's pretty awesome. Thank you. Let's go next slide. So here are some things that we definitely want to flag. They've been in the chat all morning, but there is a toolkit. There are additional resources from our partners at NASCAS. They have a toolkit that does lean into grantees, so states. Whereas ours, is very much focused on that local impact and storytelling. NASCAS does have a toolkit that can help you with doing site demonstrations. They also have a list, a Google list. Maybe we can find that and put that in the chat, you guys, where they're collecting where events are taking place so that they can reach back out and document those in reports and things that we collectively put together and send to our funders at DOE. So this is really, again, um, your guys, the network's opportunity to shine in many, many ways. Next slide. Um, wanted to, so here's the toolkit again. Um, we will also be sending out a recording of this presentation along with all the other stuff. So for those we talked about on the West Coast, that maybe this would have been way in the wee hours of the morning. We are going to send recordings and all of these things so that our friends on the West Coast aren't left out of the opportunity to carry this through. So here it is again. Please share widely with your friends and colleagues. Let's go to the next one. Here's how to subscribe to the newsletter. We publish a form of a newsletter at least once a week. Sometimes it will come from Weatherization. Other times you will see it come from the broader NCAP list. But you will be hearing from us at least weekly. And that's where you're going to find all of those important updates. And you can also follow us on social media. So use those QR codes. I think we're like at the end. Yeah. And I think the last is just thank you. I hope we've given you just a ton to think about. And again, we're not just heads and boxes. You can email me and say, hey, I really would like some, opportunity to talk through some things. What do you think about that? And I would be happy to engage with you. And or if you heard something that one of the team said that kind of struck you, you have full access to all of us. Yep, let's go back one more slide. Absolutely, Jennifer. Let's go back one slide to grab those QRs. So that really does, I think, accomplish what we were trying to do today. We will be following up with you. There are more webinars to come, and we will be hosting additional of engagement opportunities with our national partners in the days and weeks to come. So keep an eye out. Thank you, everyone. Any final parting words of wisdom, team? What I heard was that struck me is when we go, if we want to go fast, we're going to be alone. But if we want to go far, we're going to have to do it together. And so that is, I think, the message for today. Figure out how you can demonstrate how you're getting this done in your community. working together. Have a great rest of the day, and thank you all for making time to be here. Well done. Thank you, team.
Our debrief is on Teams. So I'm gonna go just take a quick 2-minute break. Um, and I will see you guys later. And thank you so much again, Laura. You're
All
phenomenal.
right. Do you guys mind, since I am kind of in an awkward space, I'm gonna run also grab a cup of coffee and switch to my phone for Teams, okay? So if I'm a
Amy,
few,
I think you and I can probably excuse ourselves from the debrief. I'd like us to kind of go rejoin the conference, please.
okay, sounds good.
All
Thanks.
right, guys. Well done.
Enjoy.
Well
Bye.
done. See ya.
Bye.